already has the brain zap, so no opportunities here for a Nightmare setup. Largely just a warding mission, it looks like this time, as Pasha advances his way through.
It's early aggression going out. We're just going to push him back. They do hit a torrent onto the Undying. FY also scouting things out. VP getting too personal. Are they going to try and fight this here? They're getting pretty close.
Well, you have Undying, so you want to contest the runes a little bit, right? Get some decay. Not a whole lot you can do. If they're going to keep 3 heroes here, yeah, you'll have some problems. 4 heroes. No one's staying as well. This might be enough to drive back PSG LGD.
I mean, up top, Drow Ranger is just going to be able to get those 2 bounty runes. So VP going to try and assert dominance. These early stages, Pasha walking forward as well, but they're going to throw out that magic missile right from the get-go, bringing him fairly low with a 2-person torrent from Roger, keeping them back and going to be able to secure that bounty rune.
Now, after all that, they actually get it. So looks like Drow, though, was able to battle up tough, so Ame will secure top and bottom, but chasing Roger.
The damage coming through in the last decay from X-Nova takes the kill on the border.
It was a slow one, but they eventually got there. X-Nova trying to secure you guys some chests out there.
What a guy. Love to see it. So we do have VP. It's going to be the Tiny versus the Storm Spirit in the mid lane. Gonna have to watch for those early glyphs, how they use it there to try and secure the CS, and also mess with the opponent mid as well. And down bottom, kind of an interesting lane as well. The Kunkka Enigma, we've kind of been seeing some teams come up with answers for the Enigma as this tournament's gone on.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of teams are just trying to focus down the Eidolons as much as possible. Makes sense. The Enigma in lane, he just wants to bully you as much as possible. Use those Eidolons to get all of the denies and try and starve out your lane.
And you can see here already just the pressure coming in. It is actually going to be the Necrophos and the Vengeful Spirit. And as they start to throw out those death pulses and just tear apart the Eidolons, this is the problem that we've been running into. Even if you get some denies, that's still a decent little bit of gold, and then they just push VP back.
Yeah, at the same time, that does cost you, right? They're largely ignoring the wave they chase down, but X-Nova in a bit of trouble.
Stuck over there in the trees, the Grave Chill, he's trying to survive with the decay. It is fairly tanky, but eventually, he actually lives. He not able to get on the board there.
So much value, like they're spending so much right there. Trying to take down this Undying who's already low on mana.
He just walks back home. So again, down bottom, the pressure coming in. They're throwing out those Wave of Terrors and trying to push VP back underneath their tower. As already LGD feeling pretty comfortable. They're actually going to find the Nightmare on the top side though, and with TP starting to rotate in, VP very far forward, and FY with the kibosh on that.
Yeah, the creeps chasing Ramses here. Might be hard to find a TP out, so he's just going to try and go for the run.
They do not have mana for Magic Missile. They get it now with the sticks, trying to chase. But with the Grave Chill, he's just going to be able to run away.
Yeah, Ame's way too into the creeps right now, so allowed to escape that time.
And so far in the mid lane and down bottom as well, actually, Malefice. Okay, there's action happening all over the place. Trying to chase this guy down here. They do manage to find the torrent, and Chalice punches. He's going to go down as well.
Finally, they find themselves a kill. They almost got one Mintu as well onto Maybe, but he was able to just narrowly survive the punches of no one, salve his way back up, and going very well. I mean, he's ahead right now. Last hits on the lane, still a couple creeps sitting there with him. And this is a lane that you're not really expecting to do this well in as the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, you'd love to be able to get off to a hot start there. I mean, it's not really the type of lineup that's going to rotate that early. It feels like you kind of need to be able to secure the advantage because of the strength of the LGD lanes coming out. So we're probably going to see this remain as just a 1v1 in the mid for the foreseeable future. And how good is that for LGD going forward if Storm's able to have a decent game?
Definitely the key element of this lineup, right? You're trying to transition that net worth that you gain from 1v1 in the mid lane into a snowballing lane. And Storm Spirit's able to do that. Like, what kind of counters do you have against Storm here? The Bane's going to be under-leveled by the time he's first rotating. You don't really have that much control without committing these big ultimates, so there's certainly an opportunity for maybe to take this one over.
It's that new Immortal as well. Carafe that was recently released, love to see it. 3.5 minutes in, it's already just a slight lead into the favor of LGD. As bottom lane, they have found themselves the Enigma. Pasha taking the punches, but it does look like he's just going to be able to walk away. But again, it's a very strong lane down here bottom for LGD.
Yeah, the denies are still racking up though for Pasha, so not a total loss here. You know, trying to deny some levels. Only level 3 on the Necrophos right now, 2 still for FY as they race for this rune.
Isn't it this? The Hex play, but the Magic Missile, can he pull him back to get the deny? All right, FY feeling good about himself.
that would have been really nice for Roger. Might have been able to open up a kill onto maybe before he hits 6, but now going back to the lane, knowing that that rune's been denied, he can farm safely both in the lane as well as in the jungle, and should be a free path to 6 here for him now.
Okay. Coming up close to that 5-minute mark where Bounty Rune's gonna spawn. See who it is that's gonna be able to take down the early gold lead that those provide you. As far as this bottom lane goes, though, it does look like they're trying to get that pull off. They're able to get the creep wave pulled back underneath the tower with the Eidolons there, as well as X-Nova contesting for the other pull as everybody's just getting in position for these bounties.
Yeah, interested to see what Pasha wants to do in terms of itemization. How much does he want to match up with the Helm of the Dominator that'll come out from his Visage in terms of early game pushes solo? The ultimate rune secure in the Bane, but there's no one else to back him up, so X-Nova grabs the other. And very nicely timed bottom for VP to actually get both there, manipulating the creep wave, using the Eidolon, so they'll be pushing into that Radiant Tier 1 and secure both bounty runes.
It does really kind of feel like we're just sort of building up to this timing when we're eventually going to get level 6 on the heroes, the early rotations. Where do you think we might see those first movements across the map by these teams?
Well, I think ideally you wanted to kill on the maybe, like some sort of an X play in the mid lane, but because of the way this lane's been going bottom, they haven't gotten, they got 1 kill in the lane so far for Roger, so there's no jump in experience or anything. Hard to get that second point into the X, so that makes it difficult to rotate mid. And the rune deny was just so important, so everything feels just kind of stalled out every time one of those runes gets denied like that. And we just kind of sit here because all the denies in this lane, everyone's just so low. Like full-on dual lanes, level 4, level 3, level 4, and level 3 for FY.
Nice torrent there as well. They're going to throw out the Malefist onto Chalice, trying to bring him down. He does have 5-6 charges to pull that Ghost Shroud, but the turnaround is going to be there, slowing Roger for the moment. But again, you see, they're not even trying to focus the Kunkka. They just want to take down these Eidolons.
Yeah, it's just more gold for your side.
More experience. Torn under tower is sometimes scary, but they have a whole creep wave here. Roger does have an X, though, and we'll find Chalice again. Just messing with them.
Yeah, you saw the ping there from Roger, like, you guys want to go? You know, maybe no one rotate or something, but his TP's in his backpack as well, plus doesn't want to necessarily leave Storm alone like that, and maybe has a haste rune too, so not very easy for no one to make any rotations at the moment.
Big rune pickup for him. See what he decides to do with it. If maybe he wants to look for a kill.
He's got great timing here. He's going to be able to get to the shrine. He can get a stack off too. Pushing that wave out, won't even miss too much in the mid lane.
Again, just a battle of farming early on here. Only 1 kill apiece, 7 minutes into it. X-Nova is going to come back towards the top. See if he can continue to secure the Drow per farm. And when you look at the CS right now, and it does feel like it's pretty heavily into the favor of LGD.
Yeah, but overall net worth isn't anything too crazy, and I think there is a concern for LGD as well. Just like this double helm timing is pretty terrifying from VP, right? You get this on the Enigma, you get this on the Visage, you start focusing with these catapults, even just a Satyr aura, something so simple as that, get a Wild Wing for some armor up against the Drow lineup. That can make a big difference.
Maybe going in on no one. Thinking about chasing forward for more, and he does still have that haste rune, but with the rotation in from solo, it becomes a lot less palatable and treat as well. We saw rotation through the mid lane by the Kunkka. He is still sitting over by that bounty rune and is now going to try and rotate up towards X-Nova, who decides to drop the tombstone onto Ramses. Only level 4, while they have reached level 6 for Ame. And as they bring in the rest of them, it looks like they're just going to try and farm up this tomb. They actually get the Nightmare onto 1. X-Nova kind of in no man's land. It's a 3-man decay, though, and as they chase forward for more, they're able to find that torrent, get the kill, and Ramses able to walk away as well.
Yeah, there's 7 seconds till the next Nightmare. They want Ame here as well. There's no rotations coming.
Oh, good gust there, but might be in a little bit of trouble now as they chase him down further. The toss forward, they throw out the tree, every dang thing, and instead they're actually going to turn now onto no one. FY trying to chase him down. They pop a regen rune, and then the jump in, coming from Baby. He wants to find him, able to get the kill, and now chase for more. He's going to have so much mana here. In just a second, they spot out Ramses, but instead they're going to turn to Solo, dodging everything. He can't even brain sap him as they take down Solo as well.
He has at least lost the regen rune for now, and the Wave of Terror on CD, they weren't able to scout anyone else out. But excellent rotations there. They came a little late, you know, LGD just kind of baiting in VP longer and longer, because VP, they head that ward over the tower, so they kind of see, like, guys, no one's coming. Dive this Drow Ranger, but...
Oh, and Chalice finding Pasha in the trees, able to get... Oh, the Nightmare! Can they walk away? I think he actually might be able to survive through this. Oh, great play coming in from the captain.
arm flail his way back to the base safely, and Roger will clean up a little bit of this lane here, try and get him in towards level 6. Both him and Solo in desperate need of the tome right now as PSG LGD force down that top tower. They will get the early edge here with a 3K gold lead heading into the 10-minute mark.
This is something that, I mean, again, you talked about wanting to go into that double helm. I mean, how worried are you right now at this point if you're VP, the fact that that hasn't really come online yet?
I'd say pretty worried. Things aren't looking too good. Storm Spirit has an excellent start. He's top of the last hits. He's top of the net worth by a very good margin. And if he secures another good rune like this at the 10-minute mark, it could just be another round of kills. And look how aggressively Ame's farming, just taking away some of this territory at VirtusPro.
That's so nice because you know that you have this hero behind you, this strong hero in the Storm Spirit that can come and follow up and possibly find a kill. And
that's the rune they wanted, a DD top secured there. As X-Nova will just hang around it with a tombstone just in case, and maybe he'll just be waiting for his moment now.
Whenever there's an opportunity to strike forward, they're going to likely take it. X-Nova not the best at controlling Tiny, bringing Roger in as well to secure that no one does not get dove here. Rotation coming pretty soon. They have a gust available as well as magic missile, and actually just going to go for the slow right at the start. The DD's there, taking down Tom this very low HP, but they are able to kill no one. And now looking for Roger as well. It just happens so quick.
5 armor reduction there coming in from FY, and then you're jumping on top with a DD rune onto his 0 armor Storm Spirit, or Tiny, but no, he's got 5 armor right now from his ulti, and that's it.
I mean, just look at this. All top net worths right now into the favor of LGD. They're moving around the map. They're taking down these tier 1 towers. VP need to come up with something quick.
There's so much pressure on this first black hole and ship combo right now. And control over the Roche pit looks pretty good for the side of PSG LGD 2. You've got the tombstone, you've got vision control from the Wave of Terror, and Storm just zipping in, not caring about terrain. If it's spotted by VirtusPro, maybe that's the moment they could find. If LGD try and go for it a little bit too early, it is a great terrain to try and fight with the black hole and the ghost ship, but you know they're going to be playing very cautiously and opting for pickoffs before they want to commit to a Roche.
Well, and we did see also just a second ago the tome picked up by the Kunkka. He's now level 6. You have the black hole up and online, and this is the smoke play that they need to go for.
This is how you get back into a game right now. Aggressive Vision is scouting out near the shrine, but they're very grouped here. In fact, it might be a smoke from the Radiant side too. Considering it, looks like X-Nova just gonna put down the sentry. Ward instantly spotted.
And while that's happening, instead they're gonna try and go for a different target.
He pulls out the smoke now though.
Oh.
So they're thinking about wrapping around here from LGD. It's going to be pretty quick though. So Ame might be found here.
But look at how well he's farming. Like earlier it was farming aggressively, and we'll see if Roger can get into range to find him with those 3 points in X. It's a really good initiation range. The Gus does end up hitting, but this still is going to connect with the boat, and now they're TPing in the rest of the heroes, but Drow's already dead. Chalice, old as brass, just walking forward, but they're going to Nightmare and run away. Or are they sandwiched? FY does have a swap available. Is going to swap back into Bane, and Magic Missile out as well. They do not have any boat any further forward, but now the chase, they have the Reaper sight going in. They want to try and force this fight, it looks like. Although PSG LG, have they overextended? Ramsey is showing up with the familiars, and they're able to take a couple kills. Nightmare?
And again, the chase down. They have that Wobbling Ripper for the extra armor too.
They've got everything they need. They throw it on the Midnight Pulse. He's just dead. A 3-minute gust, but now there's another black hole. They're slowly going forward for more, and LGD are willingly walking into them.
There's the chat spam following in the wise words of Gabe. I don't know, it felt like maybe it was so far away while they were starting to initiate on this. It was like, oh yeah, easy cleanup for a Storm Spirit. This is going to be fine. But one by one, they start falling to VirtusPro. Great responses from them. This is the fight they want. You know, they're more than willing to TP for these.
Well, and they're still chasing forward. The boat buff is going to keep no one fairly survivable in this, and maybe still sticking around, as they just want to sort of keep the pressure on if at all possible. But yeah, it does sort of feel like, you know, it's one of the dangers of playing against a Kunkka. You come in to try and save one hero, and then that hero is going to immediately die afterwards too, because you've got that chase with the X.
Yeah, and with them saving that kill mid, it's just space up top for Ramses. He takes down the tier 1 tower. He's building in towards Medallion next. This is going to put the contest for Roche now in the hands of VirtusPro.
Smoke up from VP.
A lot of wards in the area from LGD. And they're going to camp this high ground, perhaps. Oh, they're actually going to move aggressively.
Okay. All of LGD, the west side.
Very split right now.
This is a little bit bold from them yet again. Does look like Maybe gonna play it safe. FY does have swap still. Sort of positioned on VP's side of the map and seeing if anybody's gonna show up so they can find a pickoff with Storm Spirit. Solo also willing to make something happen with his first Fiend's Grip. Just getting level 6 for himself. And as far as the way that the fights want to start for VirtusPro at this point in the game, is it only through the Kunkka? Is there anywhere else that you can make it happen?
Whoa, well, there's one starting now.
All right, down bottom. Try and find a pickoff there. FY just in no man's land.
I think, oh man, chase down again. They're always alone.
What is happening right now? They chase forward for him, able to get it. The net is down as well onto X-Nova. He is surrounded by all of VP. There's a ton of zombies, but the one that matters is dead. And VP now, with these items, are going to start their push.
They're just not playing as the unit they need to right now. Like, they don't have any sort of AoE team fight or anything. There's no one who can stall the fight and wait for this rotation from the Drow Ranger and the Storm Spirit. There's no Bane to just grab some heroes, maybe. He's trying to recover.
This is a pretty good kill if they can find it onto Roger. Again, any kill on these heroes is a lot of help. Meanwhile, back towards mid, they do take down that tier 1 tower. And Somnus, no one is battling up against him. Can they kill him off in time? Throw in the tree. It's not quite enough damage. Somnus will retreat back and TP away.
The blink is going to be too late. Okay, good pickup for maybe, but we've got an even game at this point. Less than a 1K lead now for the side of LGD, and that's when everything's come online. The double helm. Pasha not even sure what he wants to go for next. Could head in towards that blink dagger if he wants to try and force out these stuns like the swap and the Necropost with the Reaper Scythe. Maybe they'll have to cancel the BKB if he wants to go for that instead, but plenty of options there for him. He could just go for more auras too. Like, don't focus too much on the black hole as the Enigma. Wow. Look at this pressure bottom. They can't stop this.
The win probability is
one hero.
LGD, but yeah, this is so many creeps and all the Eidolons in the world. Tier 1 tower is going to go down. It still is about a little bit less than 1,000 gold lead into the favor of LGD, but it feels like momentum possibly swinging as X-Nova, as well as Chalice.
Is Solo just going to walk away out of this? They're just like, there's no way this Bane's up here alone. Who would be so crazy?
Pasha in the area, he has his black hole. Or they're just gonna get him from over on the side of the trees. And in no man's land yet again, Zombies the Malif is able to take it down.
And now they're chasing after no Storm Spirit.
Oh, the blink, no one with the reactions, able to get away. There was a Sentry Ward down, but now the boat coming in as well. They swap in one, trying to keep him alive. The Reaper Sight not enough because of the boat buff, and now seeing if they can kill off FY. The wave tears through as well. No one trying to run. He tosses him over to his ally, Pasha. They find themselves another kill. Ramses with the double. And can they take down X-Nova as well?
That looks like a lead piece of cake. Pulling him down, a couple free hits for Solo before the rest of the squad joins in, and that's a triple kill for Ramses.
Well, 6-13 after the kiss, and a 1,200 gold swing as well. Feeling quite good now after the last couple of minutes for VP. I mean, the Storm Spirit still has to be considered an issue though, right?
Yeah, for sure, but I mean, he's so slowed down now. He's barely ahead of the Visage that he was once dominating. As we watch the replay here, it's like, oh yeah, some free creeps, that's a lot of gold. But he'd already lost almost a third of his HP before Pasha even showed himself.
Wow, and again, the Malefice at the end there just to secure the kill.
And look at the respect from Pasha there too. The fact that he used the black hole before even dropping the Midnight Pulse.
Right. Yeah, very, very clutch play there, and man, no one.
That status resistance
barely able to live through that one.
Combination there. He just walks out of the scythe. Doesn't even care. But smoked up now. They're leading once more with Solo. No Fiend's Grip, but they're looking to secure up this Roche area as PSG are already in the neighborhood.
About half HP, looking for an initiation. Solo might realize what's happening. They're going to throw in the torrent. They see everybody. The boat, it might only connect onto one, but is it going to be enough?
This looks bad. There's no Enigma.
And of course, having used that black hole a little bit earlier, 80 seconds on cooldown, they are not going to be able to contest. So a big win there for LGD securing Roshan.
Yeah, definitely proving they're not shook quite yet. Get inside the pit, stay focused on the fact that without that black hole, they're not that scary of a squad. Take a much needed objective there. So this is going to allow Maybe to play very aggressively in these engagements. The last thing he wants though is get picked off on the side. Even if they just lose the Aegis, that's going to feel very bad for them because I think they need this Aegis to take extremely good fights for them. Try and get themselves into a more secure lead, not just split pushing across the map.
I mean, oftentimes people talk about being able to secure all the outer tier 2 towers with the strength of VP right now, it feels like LGD, can potentially do that, but I don't think that they're willing to back down from a fight if they have Black Hole.
Yeah, the benefits they have is that no one hasn't quite finished up that Shadow Blade yet. That's going to be very threatening when it's done. But if they try and push into these tier 2s, there's so much split push that's going to come out. You saw what happened with Justin Enigma. No one can do the same thing on these side lanes with the tree.
One of the downsides of these supports from LGD, very strong in lane, the Undying and the Vengeful Spirit, but not the greatest outspam. Wave of Terror has gotten buffed a lot, but it's still not in the same as something like Ubek or Akado. But nonetheless, it is going to be, again, a lot of VirtusPro grouped together, and it's going to be a Crimson Guard pickup for Pasha.
Yeah, PSG LGD have already slowed their roll quite a bit here. Well, no, and he's going to keep going fast, though.
Find themselves X-Nova. Creep in the area. Could have gone for the stomp, but they're just going to back out yet again, drop in the tombstone, secure the retreat. Solo? Going to be able to get ran down now as well. Somnus in the Reaper's sight. He is out of there for 45 seconds.
That was Solo, assuming it was a full rotation from PSG LGD, trying to use a 5-man Aegis and thinking he could just steal the bounty runes. He believes there's a ward there, but not quite.
So Storm Spirit going back for this Bloodstone after the Kaya. We've occasionally seen Orchids as well. What do you think it is in this game that he's feeling like he wants to go for the Bloodstone?
Well, he had the Orchid queued up and wanted to jump on top of these guys, trying to help target down this Enigma as well. I'm thinking about this, but without everyone here, I don't think PSG LGD want to engage. The idea here, I think, is, again, just slowing that roll. Just kind of relaxing a little bit here, trying to get this Bloodstone up, and then win a couple fights from there and use that to then go right into the Orchid. You already saw, like, when they were struggling, if he doesn't get caught up by a Black Hole on the sidelines, like, he basically hasn't fought since that regen rune, it feels like. You know what I mean? Like,
kind of just been collecting farm around the map and securing themselves the runes. There is going to be an X. Somnus showing up now to this fight, and a good Electric Vortex, able to create a little bit of space. They're going to swap back up, but they do burn through that Aegis. The Soul Assumption making it happen, and Pasha so tanky. The Black Hole lands on a 3, and maybe coming back in. Can they turn this back around, though? They're already losing so many on VP, but they got the Beast Grip. They're able to take down the Storm Spirit through the Aegis the second time through. Zombies are absolutely everywhere on the map, but no one blinks in, trying to take down FY, and there's going to be the toss. There's going to be the kill. They buy back on the Undying as Solo has continued to just be hampered in by all of these undead beings chasing him out. But Chalice, has he gone too far now as well? There's going to be another toss. The Ghost Shroud keeping him alive. They bring down Solo on the side.
Oh, Ramsey's just barely out of mana there. Might have had a chance to fish him off there, but this time BP were not able to focus down the Tombstone, and you saw the effect there on the Undying. Just able to help them win a fight that looked very dangerous from the start. In the end, it will be a net worth game for the side of VirtusPro because of the buybacks, but they at least held their tower. They're going to hold on to their jungle for a bit longer, which is pretty important in a draft strat because you're always watching Almay just constantly rotating around this jungle, staying out of vision, and trying to boost up his allies as they go for the split push.
Again, it's taking a look at this replay here. These little moments where it's so much initiation and counter initiation, when maybe goes in and creates that chaos, anticipating he can find the kill, but they hold the Black Hole until after the Aegis.
Yeah, at that point there was just nothing left in the tank.
So well done. Again, it sort of just feels like two people slamming their faces into each other in these fights.
I think that's the play for VirtusPro, though. They don't want to give any sort of a reprieve right now to this draft strat, try and keep the pressure up on top of them as much as possible. I will say, LGD seem to be doing a very good job of pushing across this map, considering the heroes they have. I feel like VP maybe should have a bit of a better edge there in terms of split push, but it's really just the threat of maybe, because they haven't been giving away those free kills to the Storm Spirit, which you often see in these games. So VP giving that respect that's required over to maybe, and in that reasoning, I guess that's why they're able to just keep up this pressure, even though they were a little bit behind in that time period. But now becomes the time where you need those most important of team fights for the Storm Spirit. Do not want to just get bursted 100-0 with a fresh Bloodstone.
I mean, as this game goes on longer and longer, how do you sort of see this type of thing working out? Is there a team that you feel like inherently has the late game advantage?
It's pretty hard to argue against the old Tiny, Enigma, Kunkka. I feel like they have a humongous combo potential. And you have a Storm Spirit that, because he's gone for this Bloodstone first, the BKB is so far away. You don't want to just go Bloodstone, BKB. His team needs that Orchid. And with that reasoning, I believe that they're going to be in a little bit of trouble here, especially once these items start coming out from VirtusPro. Unless they can keep up this pressure, getting the next Aegis is the most important thing for LGD.
You have right now just about 2.5 minutes until it's capable of respawning. Regen room, scattered out down bottom. Solo takes that one. Deny that away from a Storm Spirit. We saw we could get done with it earlier. As you mentioned, just constantly send Pasha down here to this bottom lane. It's really hard to deal with this push.
Yeah, he's basically just playing that kind of classic Beastmaster style that we saw for a while. He just built into a Crimson Guard, didn't focus too much on the black hole. He's just constantly getting Eidolons, using his helm to scout it around him, push the wave, and creating split push opportunities like this because they know that someone wants to answer this. Oh no, and let's go top.
They got the grip. He went in with the DD, wanted to get some split push going to their own, but now he's going to get punished heavily solo. Able to punish the Storm Spirit, and how is this Bloodstone?
5-man rotation. I think VP have identified how they're going to win this game.
They know what they need to do. Man, a crazy rotation, and Solo making the plays. Somnus is back on the max quickly, but does not feel great about losing those charges.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he wound up on the high ground against a Bane without an Orchid or something trying to go for that kill. Seems very greedy, and clearly he was punished for it. Oh, they're going to smoke right under this ward. They had full vision of that, just them milling around the trees, suddenly they disappear. Do they want to try and camp a high ground with the black hole? Do they want to try and bait someone on this mid wave? You can see Solo are drawing the lines here, saying they either went this way or this way.
A stand to try and break the smoke. It's Solo that's going to run into FY right at the start. They do get a swap there. Nightmares himself realizing, I don't want to be here anymore. And now the turn onto maybe Reaper's Scythe onto one. The boat's going to be there. Hits onto two, but maybe does get out for the moment. Can they find anything else here? LGD hungry for kills, and Chalice chasing with all of these zombies around. They're going to try and escape. Pasha realizing everybody else has abandoned Chalice. And they've also got the sleepover onto the side for the Undying, so they're going to find a kill onto the Necrophos. Chase for more. They want to kill no one, but they don't have vision. They can't find him even with the Remnant. And X-Nova still living here. Ame being chased down as well, one by one. VP pull them down and continue to assert dominance here in this game. #1 upper bracket. X-Nova, no chance.
Marvelous team fighting coming up from VirtusPro right now. That forward vision alerting them to the smoke that was coming their way. And they will take another successful team fight with just the buyback of the Bane being used. And excellent communication from VirtusPro too. You could see the way they were focusing down that Tombstone this time because it gave them a lot of trouble in that fight last time at the bottom. And in this engagement, Ramsey just sent the birds on it. And there was one soul rip used, but that was it.
And I mean, it keeps on feeling like in these chaotic fights, it's LGD that will sort of spread out, and it feels like sometimes VirtusPro are able to isolate one of the heroes a little bit more effectively. Not sure how it is that exactly you want to try and take these fights if you're LGD. Is there any key target you need to focus on at the start?
The key hero is maybe, and in the last two fights, like in that fight in particular, he had lost almost half his mana pool, and he just zips into a boat and gets stunned. So he instantly has to retreat, and then he zips back in, and he's not having any impact on these engagements, and they need him to. It's as simple as that. But he's having a hard time because he's trying to play around this black hole and randomly gets hit by a boat.
Hurts. Chalice.
Pull that grip.
Oh, he put his arms up there. Send him in forward. They got him, and Solo's like, no, never mind. Don't put me here. I'm gonna back out again. The more macro state of the game, we're taking a look at 2 tier 2 towers still remaining for LGD, with 2 on the same side of VP left alive. Although bottom lane is being sort of pummeled a little bit. It's down fairly low.
Despite what feels like pretty big fight wins for the side of VirtusPro, they haven't really amounted to any sort of a massive lead. The scan will connect, shows they are heading into the Roche pit. And this is the one that both teams really vying for, but I think is even more important for LGD. They're not going to get here. FY just might give himself away.
Throws out the Wave of Terror, gets the vision, and VP, that's enough to scare him off. For the moment, but they find Ame. There's a good gust onto several. Pasha looking for the black hole. He gets it onto 2. Challenge trying to save his allies, if at all possible. The boat buff is going to be there, and the ship lands on X-Nova, finding the kill. They're calling out their chances. FY also going to be ran after. VP are feeling good, and why not?
And once again, where's maybe? Can't do anything.
It's just such a tough game right now for the Storm Spirit. He wants to try and find no one here. If he can get a solo kill, this is pretty nifty. But the rotation comes in from the Enigma. And
I mean, he just looks at him and says, oh, you don't have dust? Like, okay, there's a sentry around here somewhere, but other than that, what's the problem, right? And we go back to secure the Roche pit.
VP, 4,000 gold lead now, 29 minutes into this, and they do give that Aegis to the Visage, who's been able to pick up an Aghanim Scepter now, on top of every other item that he's got in the game.
Yeah, he's got the pipe, he got the Crimson Guard built on the Enigma early on in the game, so the whole team looking good. And the pit, and the way that they just retreat, because they know they can beat you. In a full 5v5 flat ground, they're still going to win, so why would we want to fight in the Roach Pit? It's going to be a disadvantage against the Tombstone, and this Black Hole, nothing to cancel it, and by the time it is canceled, it's too late, and we just have Ame sitting on the, or sorry, maybe sitting on the side of the fight.
And how many times have we seen Pasha get these multiple man Black Holes with no Blink Dagger? You know, he only has Brown Boots. That's his mobility item right now, but he's making it happen consistently.
Yeah, just a situation where they're also kind of initiating into VirtusPro. Like, they're the ones that you would say need these fights more, I guess, inside of VirtusPro, like these big 5-man engagements, and LGD are giving them those engagements, but VirtusPro are choosing where they fight, and not leaving the Roach Pit was a great idea.
30 minutes, bounty runes traded off again. Like, pretty much all of them went in favor of VP. Xnova able to secure one of those ones. Where do you go now? I mean, VP again. You talk about them feeling comfortable going to the later stages. Do they want to try and like shut down the map now as well, or are they comfortable just trading off half of it?
We have the most important pickup is definitely the fact that we have that Orchid, right? Like maybe he needs to just try and find some kills. He needs to build this Bloodstone up to a point where he's going to be a real threat, and he needs to farm his way into. I assume. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like, do you even go BKB? You probably have to go Lincolns up against the Kunkka and the Bane, but that doesn't feel good either, so he's got some tough decisions to make. I'll be curious to see what he does.
The unfortunate problem is that everybody from LGD was on the other side of the map as VirtusPro are starting to push towards the tier 3 tower. Somnus jumps forward. This tower is down to 200 HP from what it was before. Drow is split pushing top while this is going on, and they are going to force back VirtusPro.
Yeah, Ame knows how this game is going. He's starting to build towards the Aghanim Scepter, which is not an item we see very often on the Drow Ranger, but might be warranted in this scenario because it's probably not that long until they lose a set of racks at this pace.
Again, VP feeling very good as they're up 6,000 gold lead right now against top DPC performers of this year, PSG LGD. On a 2,000 XP lead as well. And every time you walk in through the jungle, like, maybe could potentially just get taken off. The X-Torrent combo is really hard to deal with, as long as it gets timed perfectly. The Lotus Orb for the Necrophos. Again, Rambies start to threaten high ground a little bit.
Yeah, VP just giving no quarter right now. Full on press.
Brave chill. The pressure on with the birds. This tower is taking so much damage, and I mean, they can potentially just secure this without having to commit a hero, it feels like.
Yeah, I'm sure no one's thinking about going in there right now.
Oh, they're definitely doing it. And the toss out, Chalice, maybe a bit too far forward. They swap him in, which means FY might be the one that gets punished instead. They have the X, they have the Torrent, and they're going to most likely have the kill. The Tombstone's up on the high ground. That keeps them away for the moment. Maybe the commitment. Can't really find anything. So tower down, easy peasy for VP.
Dangerous play there at the end, but he Orchids up on a solo, so he won't get caught, and looks like he's going in towards a Shiva's Guard. It's kind of talked about, like, the V giving the Lincolns neither feels good in this game. It's just kind of pointless, so he's going to try and tag up a different way, as well as adding some offensive capabilities to his team, plus trying to push these waves.
You can see that win probability has shifted a lot in the last.
I'm shocked it's that close.
Well,
it does not feel like that.
It feels like VP is very much in control of this one. 7,000 gold lead. We still do have about
Xnova
seconds left on the Aegis. But
He looked like a Tombstone, basically. I think he took less hits than Tombstone, actually.
Oh no, that doesn't feel good. They still have the Aegis too. Like, VP are just going to be able to continue to run at them. Have the Spear Vessel down. Chalice's not going to be able to get the regen. They do swap in one. So FY able to save his core for the moment. That's what you need to do. But with the DD there on no one, these towers are just paper.
Yeah, to his credit though, maybe he's keeping it going. That constant pressure in the top lane has something for VP to think about, but they can just send solo. And now will he go for a solo kill? No, he's zipping out. Respect to solo this time, it seems.
Yeah. Last time around did not as well. Solo with the 3 salves in his inventory. 4-man's earn.
It's okay, that's what Roger's for.
Exactly. Well, BP, Aegis going to expire. It already has expired, so I'm now going to try and look towards that next Roche, I would imagine, to try and go for the high ground. If you're LGD at this point, how do you set up for that fight?
I think you want to try and get some vision around your shrine and along around Roche. See if you can catch VP coming in to try and secure that. And most importantly is trying to get some vision in these smoke areas on the dire side of the map where everyone tends to group up before invading into your territory, but how do you do that with this lineup, right? Are you just going to wander into S5, hoping you can find a good spot? Looks like they'll go with at least 4. They have Ame running in to the bottom lane.
They did scan out VirtusPro, anticipating the smoke rotation that was coming. And as we saw a little bit earlier, he was able to secure a good ward up on the high ground by the dire jungle. You have some good vision around where this fight is most likely going to be happening. So at least for now, PSG LGD having a decent vision advantage around this area, and that's the start.
Yeah, Xnova's going in. He wants these anti-smoke wards. It's a dangerous play, but it looks like it's going to work out for them as they have correctly predicted the movements of VirtusPro to the bottom half of the map. And nothing is scouted here from VP, so they won't know these are down.
Beginning. You have not quite level 15 yet on that Undying, which can sometimes make a big difference in these team fights. The Tombstone on death might be looking towards that one as well. Time. Mentioned earlier, the Aghanim Scepter is completed for the Drow Ranger.
Okay, starting to catch up a little bit here. See if that'll be enough for Ame to just get a ridiculous amount of farm and actually be able to engage in these team fights. Again, the same problem occurs for him where BKB doesn't feel that incredible. I think the best defensive option they've actually built is that Lotus Orb on top of the Necrophos. Using that for maybe so that he can't be targeted down by the Fiend's Grip was a very good solution here from our Necrophos.
Still don't have a great answer for Black Hole, but that's what I guess the Venge is for as well.
At that point, it's all on him. He's going to try and build into the Aether Lens, and he almost has it. Use that to extend the range of our Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, and even if you do happen to not be able to break the Black Hole from the Enigma, you can still go for swapping out your Storm Spirit potentially. But there are still answers, even if you don't have the greatest range.
So they just watched this courier fly on in. They saw these items. They just saw that smoke. So the aggressive wards were successful here from the side of LGD. They're going to know this is coming. Solo's drawn his own line. We'll see if they can respond here from LGD and try to take a fight on their own territory, their own terms, that is, but looks like it's mostly just run away.
Tied off on the other side of the map. Storm Spirit is pushing down bottom. They are going to be able to pressure this tier 2 tower. Does look like put themselves in a position to take down the shrine as well, and that is so important for these Roche fights.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, even the birds can just handle it.
Yeah.
So little commitments and zipping in while TPing out, perhaps.
Zips out, as you said, TP's away, fine and dandy. Roche still about a minute away before it respawns now. Should give VP time to get back into the vicinity. God, no one is just so farmed.
Yeah.
Has the cheese, has the AC still.
Ramses as well, right? Like, it's the Scythe hero on the Visage. You don't really need a mobility item because you're just this fleet walking through the fight. If anyone dares approach you, you just give them the Scythe, pipe up your team, send the birds after them. He has the armor as well from the Ogre Frostmage, just helping out his team when necessary during these fights.
Be a bit of engagement coming through here. Ame revealing himself. They are still smoked up on the high ground. The Remnant is down as well. VP, they're walking right into all the vision in the world and maybe going right for the initiation as well. The Black Hole hits onto nothing. Pasha can't make it happen, and now LGD potentially has an opening here. No one. There's going to be the Avatos play. They drop down the boat as well. It's still looking okay for VP. They're trying to bring down one. Can they kill him off in time? FY is going to die. They're buying back onto immediately back into this fight, but they have the X onto Ame. The Tombstone is up on the high ground and maybe trying to create some chaos. He's doing a good bit of work, but down to very low HP. They're tearing him apart. The VP is starting to die. They kill off yet another chalice, making it work. Can they kill him off? Silence for the Visage. Ramses is going to die. They're dead forever.
Maybe found his moment. He baited out that Black Hole flawlessly, and then the team turned. The buybacks had to be spent, but it's so worth it at this point. It's going to be a 3,500 gold swing and an Aghanim's Drow that gets another 1,700 gold added on top. They march straight down that mid lane for the tower, and they're in position for this early Roche spawn.
This is huge. Big turnaround for them. And, oh my God, maybe feeling it now. wanting to find a kill here onto the Kunkka. They force out the buyback from Enigma. What is he going to do? They have the boat, though. There's going to be the buff to keep him alive, but Nova shows up as well. They've got more than enough damage to secure that gem.
Never doubt Dota Plus. That's what I'm learning.
They don't have buyback, Trent. They are losing this tier 3 tower. The only heroes alive are the Enigma and the Bane, and they're calling for the tier 4 towers. PSG LGD, they smell blood, and they're coming hunting. GG is called.